Hey guys, I'm Teresa. Welcome back to my channel at Lost My Thread. Today's video all came from looking at everyone's top 9s, including my own, over on Instagram. So what got the most likes, what got the most comments. And I was thinking, for me, what got the most likes and comments isn't necessarily the things that were the most interesting or the most noteworthy. And I thought it would be just a good reflection for myself to look through what I've made over the last year, picking out 9 categories that I can pick out what was the top item in each of those categories. So you're gonna get 9 items, not necessarily the same in my top 9 on Instagram, and I'm gonna share those with you now. Alright, so the first category I wanted to tell you about is the quickest make of the year. So something I made that was the zippiest to put together. This was an easy one to pick out. This is definitely my Agnes top. So this is by Tilly and the Buttons. I have some little videos I'm going to show you of me twirling around so you can see what it looks like on me. But this was something that, honestly, I made it on the serger. I zipped it together in, gosh, I don't know, probably an hour. I was making 2 shirts and I got them both done in probably 2.5 hours, and one of them had a slightly more complicated neckline. So this was definitely the zippiest one to get together. So if you're looking for a quick make, this is a good one to go for. The next category is going to be my most time-consuming make of the year. This one is kind of close between 2 of them, but I think the one that wins it is not a sewing project, but a knitting project, which probably shouldn't be so surprising. So this is my Suzie sweater. So this is a sweater pattern from Avec along Anna, and it's a beginner knitting pattern. I want to say sewing because it's most of what I'm doing, but it's a beginner knitting pattern, and it was something that I didn't expect to come together as quickly as it did, to be honest. Knitting takes a long time, especially when you're a beginner like me. But I managed to get this together in, I think it was just over 3 months, which is pretty good going as far as I'm concerned. But it was certainly a slower process than sewing clothes, as you would expect. I think it's a really cool one and I'm really proud of it, but it did take that little bit of extra time, which was sometimes a little bit of a nice break from all the zippy sewing that we see around. The next category is my proudest make of the year, and there are quite a few things that I was proud of, honestly, and I hemmed and hawed about what was going to be my #1 in that category. And then when I thought about this make, I thought, yeah, this has got to be my proudest one. And this is my Chi-Town Chino shorts. So this is a pair of shorts. They're a stretch denim shorts. It's by Alina Design Co., this sewing pattern. I just love this fabric, so that's a big part of why this is something that I love. But honestly, the thing I'm most proud of is that I actually made these. So for me, I've had a bit of a journey with making pants, trousers, and jeans. I've certainly made them over the years from time to time, and they've never been particularly perfect as far as the fit. And I did try to make a pair of ginger jeans, the closet core ginger jeans. Started them at the end of last year, finished more or less the pair by the beginning of this year. And when I put them on, they were like crazily too small, like not even close, really, really too small. And it was really disappointing because I'd done all that work with the top stitching and I'd even basted the fit, and I mean, who knows, I've got a whole host of reasons why I think that one didn't work out. But basically I felt a little bit unsure, uneasy going into a pair of fitted trousers, particularly something like these shorts that are similar to the jeans, that they've got a lot of top stitching detail. But I would say the fact that they were shorts was more appealing because at least I don't have the whole legs that I'm dealing with. It's less fabric in case it doesn't work out. But basically the bottom line is I feel like I absolutely nailed it with these shorts. I love these shorts, and I made them pretty close to the end of the summer, so I didn't get as much wear out of them as I would like to, but I am absolutely planning to wear the heck out of them this summer. And I'm not always into shorts so much because I feel like most of the shop bought shorts are too short for me. I love these, and they were such a satisfying one to put together. All the details that went into them I absolutely love. I used some really fun pocket bag lining fabric, which I think turned out really cute. I mean, that's just a little bonus for me when I'm not wearing the shorts, but I love the way they look, the way they're finished, the white top stitching, the white top stitching that I did, I think pops really well against the coral pink. I also really love the neatness of the zipper was like pretty impressive for myself as far as top stitching around the zipper. I don't always do that well, so I thought that was overall pretty good. I added some extra kind of distressing detail. I frayed the bottom of the shorts. So overall, I mean, a lot went into it, and I had a vision of what I wanted before I started, and it came out just better than I had hoped. So that is definitely the one that I'm proudest of this year. Big achievement for me, and I will be tackling jeans this coming year for sure. Now I feel a lot more able to do it. The next category I want to talk about is my least successful. So I know it's supposed to be a top, but I feel like my top failure or my top kind of could have gone better is also worth noting, because you know what, this is a real life and things don't always work out the way you think they will. So when I was thinking through this one, I actually had almost forgotten that I made this item of clothing, because I've basically not worn it because it just did not work out the way that I was hoping. So there is this t-shirt. This is one of my Basic Instinct tee by Secundo Second Piano. I love this shirt in so many ways, and I think that's part of what makes it a shame that it really didn't work out. I love the fit of it, the shape of it. I love the little pocket that I added. I added that myself, self-drafted that, basically copied it from a ready-to-wear shirt that I really like. I love the neckline, which I lowered a little bit. I love where it sits. Just the general drape and float of that fabric is perfect, but it is all around the wrong fabric, and this is where it all went a bit pear-shaped. So this is like a wool and tencel blend, which I mean I'd never heard of, and thought, might as well try it out. It felt really soft when I kind of felt it in the shop, had a decent amount of stretch and recovery, and I thought this could make a cute t-shirt. I like the marled effect of the blue, the sort of the coloring on the fabric, and I thought that should be a pretty cute t-shirt. So my plan was to go with that, and then I think I basically messed it up by washing that wool at too high of a setting. I usually wash my normal things that I make, like my standard me-made stuff, at probably around 30 degrees Celsius. I don't wash it at too high of a temperature. I thought this fabric would be okay because I pre-washed it at that temperature and it seemed fine. But the wool, I think, just did not respond well to the heat of that water. I mean, whenever I would wash a sweater or something like that that's like 100% wool, I would always just do a cold wash just to be on the safe side. And I think that's probably what I should have done. So this fabric has become a lot more scratchy. It's almost like shedding little bits of fibers when I wear it. When I sort of pick it up and sort of even moving it around, little bits of fiber seem to be flaking off. I think I've essentially just destroyed that fabric. I think it was the wrong fabric choice for the pattern. I do want to make more of these t-shirts, very much with the same design, but more with a appropriate fabric. I think I just need to use a normal cotton jersey. I don't know why I was branching out with this extra unusual stuff. Thought it would be fun, interesting to try a different fabric, but it doesn't always work out, and that's fine. I've learned my lesson. I'm going to steer clear of wool tencel blends for the moment, unless I figure out a better way to work with it in the future. So that was my least successful make of the year. I also wanted to look at my most worn, so what I actually got the most from, because it's one thing to wear these things or make these things and try them on for the photos and they seem great, and then what do you actually go to? What do you pull out of your cupboard on the day-to-day basis? So I would say for me, it's probably, a couple of options, but the one that I think probably takes the cake is this Mandy boat tee. So this is a striped cotton jersey, long sleeve t-shirt. This is a free pattern by Tessuti Fabrics. Almost reverse the consonants there. Tessuti Fabrics. It's a really popular t-shirt pattern, and understandably why. I can understand why. I did do a little bit more of taking in around the waist and the hip. It's meant to be a really boxy shape, which I think works well in general for that, but I don't particularly prefer that silhouette for myself. I didn't take it in massively. I still want it to be fairly boxy and roomy, and I will say that the fabric is fantastic, and that is part of it. So this was a fabric I got from Guthrie & Ghani. Super lovely and stretchy and so soft, and it's really nice and tightly fitted along the sleeve, so it feels really cozy when you're wearing it, but it still gives you that little bit of extra room and movement around sort of the waist and hip area. It is something that I definitely went to when the weather turned a little bit cooler. I wanted to wear that pretty much all the time. It's even good for the in-betweeny kind of autumnal times, and even wearing it to bed. It's just such a comfortable shirt, and I know that that's something that I will make more of and wear lots more of in the future. It's a cool overall shape with a kind of drop sleeve as well. I do like the way that it looks, particularly playing with the stripe direction on there. I think was pretty cool. And so that was, I would say, a really successful all-rounder, and one that I reach for again and again in my wardrobe. And then as far as my most surprising, I thought it would be interesting to look at what did I make that I wasn't necessarily expecting to like as much, but was just kind of branching out with what I was making, but turned out that I absolutely loved it. So for me, I think that one's pretty easily going to be the Zadie jumpsuit. So you probably will mostly all know about the Zadie jumpsuit. So this is from Paper Theory. I'm probably not going to be able to show it beautifully well just like this, so I am going to put up some pictures. But the Zadie jumpsuit is a wrap jumpsuit pattern. I don't know why I didn't think I was going to like this as much. I think I just wasn't sure if the style was going to suit me. It's a bit of a wider leg trouser, slightly cropped, isn't particularly the kind of thing I would go for, and I love this jumpsuit. I loved it on everyone else. Of course I was gonna like it on myself, right? But I just wasn't expecting to like it as much as I did. I also made this in this really gorgeous viscose linen blend. It's got this nice, slightly slubby texture to it. It's got fantastic drape. It kind of hangs in such a nice way. There's a little bit of weight to it. Overall, I would say that it is turned out to be one of the favorite things that I've made this year, and I was not anticipating that at all. It's great and breathable in the like hot summery months because it's got that wide leg trouser and that little bit of movement to it. You get almost like a draft coming up when you're feeling really hot in the summer, and it's just super breathable with the fabric. I would say overall, such a great make. I do want to make more of these. I did a lot of adjustments to get the fit how I wanted it, and even then it's probably not 100% perfect. Does not stop me from wearing it by any means, but I'll probably do some slight adjustments when I do make it in the future. But yeah, I wasn't expecting this to be such a great one for me, but it turned out really cool, and I'm really happy that I made it. I also want to talk about my favorite hand-sewn gift of the year, because I did make a lot of gifts this year, which I had hoped to do. I usually do most years, try and make some things for other people, share my love through my sewing and things like that. And there were a few that I really enjoyed this year, some really great ones, but the one that has to stand out to me as the favorite thing that I've made for other people are these face masks. So I am gonna put pictures so you can see what it looks like. It's the 3D face mask. There's a really great tutorial by Marie from A Stitch Odyssey on Instagram. But I would say that this was really special one for me. I will be posting a little video later on when I do a roundup of the makes that I've made over the last few months, and this will get included, sort of tacked on from the December onward, because I did make this in December for Christmas presents. But this is something that I felt really emotional about making for all of my fellow healthcare workers. So I made some for my coworkers. I work in healthcare, and I also made some for my healthcare workers overseas because I've come from the US. I've got family kind of all around. Wanted to make them for all the people who work their butts off, working really hard every day to look after other people. And I thought that the healthcare superhero theme certainly seemed appropriate for a mask for this year, for 2020. And that's something that I'm really excited that I got to make for other people. I've had requests for more, so we'll see if I can get more fabric. Easier said than done, but on the whole, that's one that I'm really excited that I made, and I know that everyone who received them from me absolutely loves them, felt really touched, and I'm so excited that I was able to share that with those people. I also did want to talk about my most popular on Instagram, and there was no contest. I think this one was so far easily the favorite from all of the Instagrammers out there, and I totally get why, and it is something that I am super proud of. This was a top contender for my Slowest, so the one that took the longest, and also a top contender for the one I'm most proud of, but I will say that this is a really, really fun one. So this is my Kelly anorak. So the Kelly anorak is made, it's a Closet Core Patterns sewing pattern. It's a anorak coat. I chose to make it in a waxed cotton fabric, so that way it's essentially waterproof. It's water resistant probably rather than waterproof. I think the fabric itself is waterproof, but some of the seams, I will say that if it's chucking it down with rain and I'm wearing it for ages, I didn't necessarily do perfectly around the shoulder seams because this is like a bagged out lining, and so I couldn't quite get in there with the water repellent glue that I put on there essentially. But I did a ton of different pictures of this one and little videos on Instagram when I was making this, something that I shared the process of making, and I feel like that was a big popular choice over on Instagram. People really enjoyed watching the process of me making it. It was something I was really excited to do anyway for myself, so that way I'd have a reference if I want to make this coat again, which I will definitely do. I will want to make this coat, maybe not exactly the same, but I will want to do something like this again. but it was really nice to be able to share the whole process, sort of a slow sewing project with everybody, and it was really nice how much people enjoyed it as well. There are a lot of cool details on this one. So the pockets I made waterproof. There is a little tutorial how to do this on the Closet Core Patterns website. I also did a quilted lining, so I quilted this myself from a really beautiful rifle paper coat quilting cotton fabric. For the lining of the sleeves, I did like a standard viscose lining fabric because I wanted to make it easy to put on and off. But I love the difference, the contrast between the lining and the main fabric. That is kind of the star of this little jacket to me, this coat. And I also used the same lining fabric to line the inside of the pockets. I did the quilted lining in the hood as well, which is so cozy when you're wearing it. I really love being able to wear that and feel so protected and warm and cozy when it's really raining. I have worn this coat a lot. I have tested it out in the rain and it works. It works very, very well. I stay dry, I feel smug going around, everyone's getting all wet and I'm just toasty in my little Kelly anorak. So this was a really great make and I'm glad that I can share a little bit more about it now, but look on my Instagram if you want to see a ton of details. I went through so much detail of how I made it and all the different stages, and yeah, that was a surprising popular one this year. The last category I want to talk about is my personal favorite of the year. So there are lots of things that I loved that I made this year, and it's always a little bit difficult to pick out what you like the most. Quite often is whatever I've made the most recently, to be completely honest. But I feel like this year there is one that I have certainly enjoyed wearing the most, loved reaching for. I've gotten probably the most compliments in real life for this one as well. And it's the dress that I'm wearing. So I will put up some full length video so you can see what it really looks like. But for me, it was like this fabric's just, it sort of sung to me. It made me want to get it and make something really floaty and drapey with gathers. And it turned out so, so well. So this dress was actually from the Great British Sewing Bee Sustainable Style Sewing book. And that was actually, all the patterns in there were designed by the Selkie Patterns girls. And it's a really beautiful midi dress. I think it's just called midi dress. There's also a maxi version, and I am gonna have to make a maxi version of it. It's got this really nice V-neck. It's kind of just the right sort of length of V for me. It's got gathering details around the cuffs, these really cute little cuffs on the sleeves, gathering under the bust and around under the waistline and a little bit lower down. So we got three tiers of gathers. I just felt like it was the perfect pairing of pattern to fabric. It doesn't always work out, right? Like we don't always get it right. And this was a time when I felt like this was exactly what I needed for this fabric. I found the fabric, I knew I wanted to make something beautiful and feminine and drapey and floaty, and this pattern did not let me down. It turned out to be exactly what I wanted. I also love that this dress, because it's in this drapey viscose fabric, it's really nice and kind of curve hugging, but it's not too slim. It's actually quite roomy, so it fits really beautifully. I will say it fits perfectly around the kind of shoulder and bust area, and below that it just drapes so nicely, but it doesn't cling. It's so comfortable to wear, and I would say that it's one that I'm the most excited about making, and I'm the most excited to wear whenever I see it in my wardrobe. So I really enjoyed looking over what I've made over the last year and doing a little bit of personal reflection. I hope some of you are doing similar things as well. If you are, let me know. If you've got any of your own top makes in these categories, I'd be very interested to hear about them. So let me know in the comments or over on Instagram. It'd be really cool just to see what everyone else has made and what they've thought of the things that they've made as well. It's been a bit of a weird year. I feel like I've done pretty well as far as keeping my sojo going, continuing to sew throughout all of this bizarre life situation that we're all going through at the moment. And I hope that you did enjoy today's video. If you did, please do give me a little like down below. If you want to see more of my videos, you know you can always hit that subscribe button, and I will be checking in with you all again before long. Bye!